Hi, everyone, and welcome to Techyries. We've got a packed show for you today, including big news for all you Halo fans out there, and a look at some spooky Halloween updates. I'm Morgan, and this is KP.
Hey everybody, and yes, we also have a special guest too. You can't see him yet, but we will have him join us a little later.
They are
And we also,
waving.
unfortunately, you guys cannot see him because we can, and so he's probably gonna make us laugh a bunch of times. It's gonna be great.
I can't see him. It's
But we also want to give a big hello to everyone who is also over on YouTube with us.
yes.
Thank you for joining us. And now we're going to dive into the Tech Pulse.
Yeah, it's our. By the way, guys, real quick, sorry to fuck up your transition for me. It's our first time live on YouTube. Go
It
over,
is.
go subscribe on our YouTube channel if you're not already, please, because it helps us unlock new emotes. That is all. That is my shameless plug for our YouTube. Now, time for Tech Pulse. All right,
All right.
go on, go for it.
All right, we want to kick things off with a medical feat that could actually pave the way into how future surgeries are performed. All right, the Chinese University of Hong Kong's Facility of Medicine and the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology performed the world's first teleoperated magnetic endoscopy, all with the help of a PlayStation Move controller. That's incredible. Now, the operation was performed on a pig and took place over 5,700 miles apart from the two facilities. The director of the multi-scale robotics lab in Zurich says they will perform a teleendoscopy on a human stomach as the next step of their research. And it just shows you just how incredible technology is reaching. The fact that they're able to do this at such different miles apart is just going to create such an advancement in how surgeries are done. You know, because what if you don't have somebody who specializes in a specific surgery in your area? You could then have a teleoperation. It would be kind of scary, I think, for me personally, but it
That
would be
makes me
interesting.
nervous.
Right, just a little bit.
It's so this is really interesting because it's really funny to see how these PlayStation controllers are evolutionizing the medical field because my brother actually works at a local hospital, not as like a hospital staff but as a robotic staff member. So what
Oh,
he
that's
does
cool.
is he actually they're called Moxie. They're a robot that actually will go to like the pharmacy, close off the drugs and keep it safe inside their big robot body, and then actually you and then actually like head to like where the drop off locations are. So they are completely like self-running. However, they do have a tenant. Now, I like to joke with my brother saying that he's like a glorified robot babysitter, because Moxie can't run elevators or open all the doors for them for herself or
So
themselves.
it's a claptrap.
But kind of, yeah. So literally, but it's funny. Like sometimes, with how like overloaded hospitals are right now, there's extra hospital beds and obstacles out in the hallways, and sometimes Moxie gets stuck. So like my
Mhm.
brother will like kind of like have it stop with and he runs it all with the PlayStation 5 controller. Like, or no, I think it's PS4 controller. But either way, they have it stop, and he like opens the elevator, and then he like does the command to let it know that it can continue. If it gets stuck, he literally, like a video game, is like adjusts it from the area it is stuck, and then so it can get back onto a
Oh,
normal
interesting.
path. So that like, and if it goes breaks down, my brother also like kind of like helps um kind of tweak it. But that was the first, for me, the first thing I've seen of like PlayStation controllers actually
Mhm.
being used in a medical field. And so yeah. That is funny. Robot babysitter. Good thing AI isn't taking all the jobs.
No, but that is
But
really cool that to see that kind of advancement, and now we're
yeah,
taking it to
yeah,
the next level, and it
for
makes you
sure.
wonder, like, what's the next level after that? You know, it's nice to see that we're making things available for people who might not have that kind of specialty in that area, you
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely.
So it's just very interesting. Now I know besides PlayStation, Nintendo also had some news of their own that might be a womp womp.
Yikes. Anyway, So, guys, while the world awaits for the Switch 2, Nintendo decided to release an unexpected new piece of tech hardware. And that's an interactive clock, guys. A clock.
Like, wow.
A clock. All right, let me tell you a little bit more about it, though. So, the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo is an interactive alarm clock designed to add some Nintendo charm to your home and your daily routine. Alarmo will cost a whopping 99.99 US dollars and is scheduled.
What's up, 900?
Oh, might as well be. I'm not buying this. No. And it is scheduled to be released early 2025 for purchase. However, Nintendo Switch Online members of the US and Canada area are able to buy it right now via the My Nintendo store. So, what does this overpriced Nintendo alarm clock do? Alarmo features motion sensor technology that responds to your movements. You can snooze the alarm with motion alone and stop it by getting up out of bed. The face of the clock has currently 35 scenes inspired by the following Nintendo titles: Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Pikmin 4, Splatoon, and plenty more. Updates to the Nintendo clock will be released in patches, just like their video games. Nintendo will update Alarmo with scenes for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Animal Crossing New Horizons. So,
I just,
yeah.
I don't really need an. I have enough alarm clocks. I
So-
don't need a $100 one.
Like, so I will say, when I was researching it for the show, it does like track your motion and like track you and everything. They have stated that none of that information even gets sent to Nintendo, so all that sort of information of yourself in your personal space is completely safe. So that's good, I guess. But why do I want a $100 Nintendo alarm clock?
I got an idea. We'll just take the soundtracks of the games and put them on our phone, and then that could be the sound of our phone.
Yeah.
For less than $100.
It makes no sense. But whatever. I digress.
Grim. You rolled over in your sleep. Alarms turned off. Say bye-bye to getting up on time.
Yeah, right? Like, you can, like, wave. I don't know if you just wave or anything, but I do want to say, like, the actual scenes themselves, like, the clock face looks really, really cute. Like, it does. I like the stuff that they see, but I don't see why this is a thing we need.
Well, like the top part, I've seen some of the videos, like you push down and then you can like change the different scenes from the giant button up top.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
I
know people have been actually making fun of the Alarmos, so
I almost wish it would have been a clock that was like the piranha flower thing.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
I think that would be cool. Like, you have the clock
That's
in
too
its
Mario.
mouth. I know,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's not
too Mario.
enough to do all of their other things. I know.
Right. They'd be like, it's just so Mario now.
That's really funny, Rob. If you try to sneeze it, you get bit. So Luke in chat does say the Mario scenes got me kind of hype. I agree. Like, the scenes they have designed for it are really cute. I do really like the look of the clock face. A bob-omb alarm. I'm sorry, a bob-omb alarm would be really cool.
Guy.
Yeah.
He's just shy the whole time. Like, he doesn't even say anything. There's no alarm. There's no alarm for it. It's just
a Kirby alarm would be adorable.
Yeah.
Like, it's the big like mouth that they do, like, kind of thing. But in the mouth is the clock.
And as you get closer, it starts pulling in more stuff.
Are you sure? Are you sure you wanna?
No, I don't wanna. Oh man. I mean, cool. I'm happy that Nintendo is thinking outside of the Switch box, I guess you could say, but at the same time I'm like, I don't need an alarm. Give me something I could use, you know?
100%.
Like, give me something that's, I don't know, like part of the whole VR type thing that we've been trying to aim at, you know? I feel like that would be better.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. That's for darn sure. Um, okay. So,
Okay, well maybe Halo has better news.
actually, the Halo news is kind of cool, not gonna lie. So, Microsoft just made a real.
What laugh for?
It's because of this line I'm about to read that I wrote for myself.
Hold on. Sorry, our special guest is enjoying his time behind the scenes.
Apparently, they grew two more arms. So,
Apparently,
anyway,
they grew another person.
all right. So, apparently, Microsoft just made a real forward unto dawn move.
Mm.
I'm
This laugh of yours.
sorry, it's really bad. Anyway, Microsoft has announced that it is moving its Halo development to Unreal Engine 5. This move comes after over a year worth of rumors of an engine switch following a leadership reshaping, plenty of layoffs, and more at 343 Industries. Now, the video that's currently playing, just so everybody knows, is like their announcement video that they made for this, and like for this big adjustment that is happening over at Halo or Microsoft and Microsoft. But that's not the only change that has been made surrounding the Halo franchise. Halo's developer, who bought out the original developer, Bungie. God, I can't talk today. 343 Studios has officially rebranded under a new name, and they are going to officially be called Halo Studios. The move to Unreal Engine 5 is meant to be the first step of transformation for Halo Studios to change its technology, structure, process, and even culture. So 343 Studios, now Halo Studios, has dedicated a lot of staff to developing their Slip Space engine, which parts of it were almost 25 years old. This was the engine that actually ran all of the Halo games thus far. And the Slipspace engine has become difficult to use and has strained the development of Halo Infinite. This is a big part of why the team building Halo is moving from the proprietary engine to Unreal Engine 5. Now, the art director at Halo Studios, Chris Matthews, has said that one of the primary things we're invested in is growing and expanding our world so players have more to interact with and more to experience. No release dates or new Halo games have been announced yet, but the team has been building some examples of Halo running in Unreal. So yeah, I'm all for this. I'm a big supporter of Unreal Engine 5. I think it's great. As somebody who's working on their own, slowly working on their own video game and knowing that I'm going to definitely be utilizing what Unreal Engine has to offer, this is awesome. And maybe we can have access to really amazing assets and art pieces, not that are from Halo. Because, maybe they'll be nice and share some assets.
Yeah, I think this is a good turning point for them to start thinking about a more, I guess I want to call it a better engine, to be honest, because I've noticed whenever I play Unreal, I'm pretty solid. Like I don't have any issues, and I'm somebody who suffers from, unfortunately, digital motion sickness.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta love it. So Unreal is one of those engines that really helps by making things a little bit more smoother and the graphics are sharper and everything. But it's so funny because the memes that I've seen for this release have been so great. It's like, remember when Halo was released on the 360 and everybody was like, oh my God, the graphics are amazing and all this stuff. And that's how everybody's reacting to this. It's like, we're going back in time. I hope they do, though, down the road, take some of the older games and revamp them through Unreal. I think that would be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would definitely like brighten everything up. It's kind of very similar to what they did with what was it like the Lara Croft ones. They went through and they revamped them a little bit to make them a little bit more modernized. I think
Oh,
that
yeah,
would
yeah,
bring
yeah.
back a lot of people, and I think everybody would be super excited, especially big Halo fans. I'm not like I'm not top tier Halo, but I have definitely dabbled in Halo, so it would bring back a lot of nostalgia for myself.
For sure. So, one thing I do want to say too, like, because Luke, you're saying here in chat that you don't know what this really brings to the table. You love the games and that use Unreal Engine, but graphically speaking, Halo still looks great as is. I 100% agree. Halo does look great. They have done really well with their slip space engine. However, I don't think this is so much for better graphics as I think it's for the other side that they're having issues with. The actual like production side and making things inside their slowly becoming archaic slip space engine. And I think they just don't want to keep putting the manpower to making their engine better, because that is why Halo Infinite released in its weird way that it did. And oh, here's Halo Infinite. Oh, it's just multiplayer. You can do all the competitive stuff with each other, and then they release the story later. That happened. I'm assuming largely because of issues they were having with Slip Space Engine. So I think that this is just to help their production, and not so much how it graphically looks. Because you're right, it already looks great. I think it's the other side of actually developing and making that game finalized.
I think also too, like, not I mean, I'm not trying to be like, oh, it looked terrible. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying the fact that they could
For
take
sure.
some of them and revamp them would probably get more people who maybe have never played, the younger group of gamers, not us, OG gamers who grew up with Halo, getting them into the game. Because
Ah,
that's what we've been starting to see. More people starting to, oh my God, they redid this game. I need to check it out, kind of thing.
I just
And
realized I
I think
forgot
just
my helmet.
also I also think too, like what's so great about it is that moving to Unreal, I don't know necessarily if it's an easier product to use, but it's definitely one that a lot of bigger names are using. And so I think more kids who are learning about video game development are dabbling in Unreal, and so therefore bringing those kids in to help will like give them basically a software product that they've already been using down the road. So it kind of like goes hand in hand with everything.
Absolutely. And yeah, like as Luke just said, this is the era of the remake for games. So I do think a remaster of like the older Halo games would be sick in Unreal Engine, because they're amazing stories and just the graphics don't hold up anymore, which is fine. They released when I was a kid, like it makes complete sense. So I think some remastering would look awesome for those
Yeah.
games, especially in Unreal
And
Engine 5.
to what Grim said, I know he's sitting in our our waiting room right now. But
Ooh, it
yeah.
says shirtless Dan over there.
I mean, yes, I understand, who needs an original game when we could just do all these remakes. I get that, but I think what makes some of this stuff really great is being able to revamp some of those like OG games that we've seen and be able
Especially
to
for the
bring those back to
nostalgia.
the forefront. Huh?
Especially for nostalgia purposes. Like I
Yeah.
am, especially like for Halo, I'm a very nostalgic person. Halo, obviously I was playing like Mario Kart when I was really young, playing Pokemon, stuff like that, but I want to say what really got me into like the gaming phase that I am was Halo. Yeah, I was like 5 when the first one came out, and I was
She's like
playing them.
5.
I
She's
was
like
playing
5.
them. That's why I said it came out when I was a kid. But genuinely, like Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2 and Halo 1 and 2 is what got me becoming the gamer that I am. It kind of became a persona for me in middle school. And my guy friends found out I played Halo. They're like, "Wait, you like Halo?" And so it was like a whole thing. It helped really shape, like Halo is a big part of like who I am today, funny enough, because it shaped my love for gaming and how the surprising reaction I got from my friends that I even liked and played Halo. So yeah, it's great. And yes, it came out when I was like 5. Okay.
And Rob, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, why engage? Why? I don't know. For me personally, I feel like if you're going to revamp a game or like fix a game, so like for instance in Borderlands, they went through and they did like a quality of life, they did some updates and all this stuff, and they were getting people back into it. Yes, they released a new teaser trailer for it, and that's been in the works for probably a while, but I don't see it as a bad thing for them to go through and revamp the game a little bit, like
Mhm.
it might boost them to be like, oh, we have this huge population coming back in of gamers who want to play this again. Maybe now we should think about making a new game. So I think if anything, it's gonna help. And I know Rob's like, no.
It was
Girls
dark
didn't
ages,
play
Luke.
games.
It was a very
Well, when
dark
Morgan was
age.
5, when she didn't play, that was a dark age? I
Yeah.
beg to differ. I beg to differ.
No, I think that was a dark age for all women that were or young girls that were playing video games because it was
I wasn't
such an
5.
unheard of then. Okay, you weren't 5, but I was.
I'm, like, trying to figure out how like, what our age difference is. I'm like, I know I'm older than 10.
Here, I don't mind saying how old I am. I'm 27.
Okay. That puts me at 11. 11 years older than you. You guys can do the math. Uh, and by the way, I look good for my age, so
Hell
fuck
yeah,
off.
you do. You're gonna be one sexy grandma one day.
So I'm like, so you were 5, so I was 17.
Let me
No,
see.
16.
Hold on. Let me actually Google when it released.
If you were 5, I was 16.
Oh, yeah, so it released 2001, so I was 4. I was
Okay,
it
so
was
I'm
November 15th, 2021,
15.
so I was 4.
At the age of 15, yeah, I was playing Halo. I was playing Halo with my little brother.
It was a game I played a lot with my brother, who, he's
Mhm.
7 years older than me. So that's what I will say I started in the Halo franchise because of my age. I started with Halo 2, which came out in 2004, and then because of my love for that, I went back and played 1 and then, just played everything. So, you were 9. Gross.
All right, I'm moving on. I'm moving on because I got some sad news to report, unfortunately, for an indie game developer. So, I don't know if you guys have heard of this game, or maybe have seen it, but if you have, unfortunately, Paddle Creek, who is behind the survival MMO game Fractured Veil, is shutting down. The survival game took place in Hawaii, where players can craft, survive, and defeat terrifying mutants and monsters. The company made a post on Reddit saying, quote, "Unfortunately today, we've made the tough decision to stop development on Fractured Veil. We won't be selling any more keys or making any new content for the foreseeable future. The servers may remain up, but we can't promise any dedicated support." Now, we did look up Fractured Veil on the Steam page, and their page does state that this game is no longer available on the Steam store. And Morgan, this game was also a Kickstarter game, which raised over $110,000 from more than 1,000 backers. And it's just a shame to see games like these just end so quickly. It's really sad.
Yeah, I wonder like what about like I would love to know the deeper reason as to why. It's really disappointing to see that, this I if I remember correctly, this one got a lot of love too on Kickstarter. So it's shocking to see that this is closing, and part of me wants to know why. Like, what happened? What is the reasoning that this is closing with the amount of support it got on Kickstarter? And on the flip side, sadly, like, to be that person, what are they doing for their backers?
Hmm.
Like that's a lot of people who put in a lot of money to make this happen, and now it's not happening. Like, what are they doing also to thank and apologize to their backers that they had?
Right. Yeah, and I feel like we're gonna see probably down the road some more games that will be doing stuff like this,
Yeah,
because it is hard to keep. It's hard to make a game. It's hard to keep the game running. It's hard to make sure that everything is moving full speed ahead. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
it's just it's just really sad. And I looked at the game and I was like, man, this would be fun. I can see, Rob and me and you and shirtless Dan jumping in and be like, we're on Hawaii. Let's go and build our Hawaiian hut and get all excited and kill monsters. And Grim would probably build us this mansion on a small, tiny island where we would all have like giant balconies that could just dive into the ocean. I mean, yeah, that's what he
Absolutely.
does.
All right. Well, everybody, we are going to very take a very quick short break. Right now is the perfect time to get up, maybe stretch, refill on your favorite beverage, whatever you need to do. Maybe head on over to our YouTube and hit subscribe real fast for us, since we are live
Thank you
over
for the
there
follow
now.
real fast.
Thank you so much, Ramp, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. Much appreciated. Do things like that, even, hit that heart button here on Twitch. But yeah, for right now, we'll be right back very briefly, and we'll be back with some more spooky game updates. See you soon, guys.
From townfolk to a giant chicken house. This is your first look at Reika. Get ready to channel your inner witch. You'll practice your witchcraft, forage for ingredients, solve quests, and discover mysteries, all while traveling around on your cozy chicken-legged hut. Let's dive into the gameplay. When you jump into the game, you learn the basics, how to move. Then, you're off to your first area. In the beginning, you can't do much except talk to the townfolk and help them with their problems. In return, you gain pieces for your soon-to-be house. It isn't until after you speak with the old lady in the woods that you gain the ability to gather some materials with the help of some birds. And when I say some, I mean like honey and berries. As the game progresses, you unlock your new home where the building aspect of the game begins. The building gameplay is a little wonky at times. I was definitely on the struggle bus when it came to building walls. Eventually, after several tries, I was able to place the walls correctly. Then, it was off to the next town, where after completing the story quest line, I was able to learn how to chop trees. But this is where the storyline stalled out. Upon entering the next town, the game popped up with a message saying the storyline has ended and I have entered sandbox mode. This was disappointing because it felt like I was back to playing the demo, which ended right after leaving the first town. Now onto the art design. The game's art design isn't realistic like many AAA games out there, but you can see the game has a more muted color theme to it, which in a way adds to its overall beauty. There are outfits for Rika to wear that you can pick up throughout the game, but don't expect anything super colorful, at least not yet. The soundtrack really makes this game. With every note, you, the gamer, feel as if you are pulled into the storyline of Reika as she is traveling from town to town. And each track has its own set of emotions depending on who you meet and where you are in the game. But as for dialogue, there are no voice actors. Get ready to read a lot, especially if you are streaming this game. Overall, Reika is a game that will make you feel emotionally charged with the music and storyline. But with the storyline coming to an end after the first two towns, it makes the game feel incomplete, even for early access. And the developers have released an early access roadmap with a major storyline update slated for early next year. But until those updates are released, this is your first look at Reika. From townfolk to a giant chicken house. Did it restart? From townfolk to a giant chicken.
How dare it loop on me? Hello, everybody.
I'm like, what happened?
How
Do you guys want to
dare
watch
it?
it 5 more times? It's fine.
Reika used her magic to make it play again.
Her witchcraft.
God damn it, Reika. So, before we dive deeper into like about Reika, I just want to say, because just watching it, the animation reminds me a lot of a video game you and I played called Among Trees. Which,
oh yes. Which I broke that game, by the way.
That game's a letdown because the developers gave up on it, and it's an amazing game, and I'm really sad about it.
But I also broke the game.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
Do you not remember?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just one
I didn't
thing.
mean to break that game, by the way.
Visually, I know that you said Reika disappointed you a little bit. Reika to me, visually, I love it visually.
Not visually. I'm not talking about visually. Visually,
no,
it was
I know.
fine.
I know. I'm just saying, like, for me, I love the visuals, and the story does really intrigue me. But I want to ask, like, if you could go deeper into why don't you like it? Like, or why were you disappointed by it?
So I was disappointed not because of the not there wasn't anything they did in the game that was like there were some things that were annoying, like building, for instance, as you saw, like it's a struggle bus. It is a struggle bus. So it's like I just want to build this wall. But the storyline is great. I just wish they had more than just two island, like two towns. Like I went to the first town, I did my thing, I got the chicken. I was like, yeah, I got my thing, I'm gonna build it. Went to the next town, and it was like, okay, well now you have to this deer elk kind of looking spirit creature thing that you're talking to, and you're learning about, you know, all of their stuff with the storyline, and you get to learn really cool how to, like, you're slowly learning how to do new things with the bird. So like at the beginning, it's like, okay, I can only gather honey and berries and some other things, like you can gather like wheat eventually and stuff like that. But then as you go to the next one, you learn how to do chopping of trees, but then you have to learn, like, once you chop a tree, you also need to rebuild the trees because they get mad. The spirit gets mad at you. So the part that was
Mm.
really disappointing to me was we beat that part, or I did in my part of the game, and then that was it. As you saw, we hit this roadblock of this is the end of the story. You are now in sandbox mode.
Yeah, it's like this
Oh,
is the end so far, right?
right. And I was just a little disappointed because the demo itself was very much like that too. Like, if you leave this town, that's it. The demo is over. So it makes it feel like you're inching ahead in the story, and only inching, as opposed to, like, you could have built it out a little bit more and gave us at least, like, I don't know, 3 more towns. At least that way I would have
Gotcha.
felt like a little bit more accomplished in it. Now I know they have an early access roadmap, which I showed you guys, and they do have a major update coming next year. It just feels a little unfinished for an early access is what I'm getting at.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so like if you think if there was more almost like meat and potatoes to the early access, it would have been a little bit more fulfilling.
Yeah, I just feel like because we hit this roadblock, I'm like, well, what else can I do? I can chop down so when you get into sandbox mode, it's like, okay, so I can chop down a tree and then build part of my house again. So it's just kind of like cuts you off
Gotcha.
in a way.
And
So
so
I'm
there's
stuck
not
where
a
I
lot
can
of
go,
longevity either
right,
to get you to until they release more content.
right, right, because I
Gotcha.
don't know what else I can do at this point. I can cook food, yay,
Wow.
and
Sounds
give
like
it to
paleo.
people. I can give it to people and make them happy, and I can build my house on these chicken legs and talk to the old creepy lady who's, you know, there. But the visually, like, I love it. I mean, like I said, it's a little muted. It's more muted colors,
Yeah.
but that doesn't destroy the beauty of it in a sense, like,
Mhm.
it's very pretty. And I love the whole animation sequence that they did that you guys saw when you get the chicken legged hut that you get to ride on. Like, that was so cool. And it was the whole sequence leading up to that was just incredible how they did it. And a lot of it was very incredible how they did it. There wasn't anything that I sat back and said this is visually unappealing. Everything was amazing to look at and cinematically beautiful. It's just the meat and potato part of it where I'm like, cool, I now can cut a tree and I can still gather materials and everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome.
When you're riding on your chicken-legged hut.
Hello, hello,
But I
element.
would say, like, once they get that next update out, I think that's where it's gonna hopefully start taking off, and hopefully they don't just go, "Oh, we added one more town." That will
Sure.
really be I'll be like, "Guys, we need to push a little bit more."
Ramp it up a little bit more, please.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice. So with that being said, you were talking about how like it's a little dark, it's moody. Areas of it can be creepier. There's a creepy old lady. Let's head on over to our spooky updates because we got some fun stuff for that too.
Yeah, we do. Spooky, 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 spooky,
Spooky,
spooky,
scary
spooky.
skeletons. All right. So a game that we've all played before.
Mhm.
Valheim is actually trying to set the mood for spooky season in their game. On October 8th, they released a teaser trailer announcing the Bog Witch update. So let me switch on
Spooky.
over. Super spooky. Let me switch on over and show you this teaser trailer while I explain to you kind of what's going on with it. Um, but so with this, uh, though there is no new biome to speak of, sorry, I am being blasted by the music. That was really loud in my ears. Though there is no new biome to speak of, the swamp biome is about to get a whole lot more dangerous. The bog witch will make her home in the survival game, setting up in a hut as a brand new vendor. They will offer spices, new potions, crafting recipes, and tools, all purchasable with gold. The ingredients you buy offer up uh draughts and means that and temporary strength, endurance, and dexterity buffs will be available to you. I don't know why I'm struggling. Sorry, my apologies. Um,
You must be in Reiko right now.
I must be. I'm struggle bussing over here. Maybe I was parched. We'll see what happens. Let's see if I get better. but that's not it. You will also be able to prepare sprawling banquets for you and your friends. There are 8 new feasts, each with ingredients from Valheim's many biomes being introduced. The new cooking skill will also drop with Valheim, the Bog Witch. The more meals you put together, reducing the time it takes to prepare food while opening up new perishables too. And it doesn't stop there. Since you can't just make ingredients from thin air, a new farming skill is also being introduced in this update. There have been updates and adjustments made to the cultivator, and a new scythe tool has been added thanks to this farming update. And more importantly, new decorative building pieces are being added for the game efforts too. That's what I care about the most, is the decorations.
You're like, I don't care about the Bog Witch. I just want the new.
I mean, cool, scary witch, great, love her. But give me more decor.
More decor, please.
Please and thank you. Spice?
It is
You
nice
spice?
to see though they're adding. They're still adding to this game. Sometimes it feels like they kind of just
Dropped off the
put it
face
to
of the earth?
yeah, kind of like, all right, we're good. You guys are having fun with it. Have a good time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's nice to see that they're still adding stuff.
Absolutely.
Bog Witch could be
Absolutely.
interesting.
I do think Bogwitch will be interesting. But yeah, I want to know, what are some other spooky updates you have coming for us?
Okay, so I have another update that's coming out later this month, and it's Amanda the Adventurer 2. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, the first one, but it is a sequel to the first one, which followed Amanda and her pal Wooly on a series of adventures as they explore and learn about the world. Now, this isn't just your typical, you know, child's game kind of thing. So we're going to continue Amanda's story as she encounters Riley, a mysterious masked figure after destroying the TV in the attic. You'll travel to the public library where you're going to dig deeper into the mystery of Amanda the Adventurer. If you want to check out this series of games, the first one is $9 American. And then there is a demo available on Steam for this one, the second one, with a full release set to come out on October 22nd. I have watched, so I won't play this one personally, just because I'm just not a fan of playing these, but I love watching them. So I watched Markiplier play the first one of Amanda the Adventurer. And if any of you guys have not seen this, Amanda, like when you do something wrong, Amanda like screams at you
Oh,
and gets
that's
super
great.
pissed off. And then things will happen where like you'll plug in the YouTube or the VHS of her, and then all of a sudden the whole entire scenario is different and everything has changed because you did things differently in the attic. So I'm curious to see what is actually going to happen with this one, and I really can't wait to watch this one because it's just going to be another one of her just screaming and yelling and everything. She definitely has that. She has like the little kid whine, like
Oh, love
solid.
that. I don't know how if I like this animation. This animation
It-
style's weird.
Yeah, it's like almost reminds me a little bit of like clay animation, but it's
Yeah,
not full clay animation. But it's
that's
very
weird.
like similar. And I would definitely say like watch somebody play this because
Okay.
it's especially the first one. It's very interesting because it's not what you think it is. Like all of a sudden you plug in this in the first one you plug in a VHS and it's like today we're gonna learn how to cook, you know, and then you're in the kitchen. And then it kind of turns into a kid game where it's like, can you tell me where the pan is? And then you're like, the pan is there. You know, you like point and click on the
Nice.
screen and stuff. Um, but when you mess around with things in the attic, the next time you play that exact one, like the kitchen might be on fire.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah, so like
Interesting.
it's very creepy and like spooky, and so I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with this. Oh, and in the attic, for all you puzzle people out there, because I know you love puzzles, um, each individual thing that you do in the attic is solving a puzzle, which then changes the scenario of each episode that you watch.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. Intriguing.
Intriguing, I say.
Yes, yes. Well, that's not the only other spooky event or game coming out. So I have another update for y'all. And this one has
Oh,
to do
yeah.
with Halo again.
Let's go back.
Let's go
Back to
back.
Halo.
So, Halo Infinite is celebrating Halloween early. They have officially launched its limited time operation Halloween event. This event tasks players to survive undead with a new playlist with 3 maps and a reward track full of seasonal inspired rewards. Halo Infinite has mixed with specific real world seasonal events before, such as the winter holiday months with winter contingency, though it seems that this year Halo Studios is finally leaning heavily into Halloween for its next content release. So yeah, and this is a look of it. It's going to be, featuring a lot of new, like, fun themed Spartan armors and helmets. And there's going to be extra customizations. So yeah, it's going to be a fun event for us Halo lovers who want to dive into the events.
I like it. I'm
Yeah.
just watching. I'm watching from it's really cool looking. I like the fact that they're diving into Halloween.
Yeah, so this is the Halo Infinite Halloween operation. So this is their Halloween event, and yeah, it'll be I think a pretty fun time. Maybe someone will be hopping back onto Infinite multiplayer. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got one more to tell you guys about.
You
Those who
do?
have like I do. Isn't that great?
No
It's like
way.
Christmas, except for Halloween.
Wow.
All right, those who have played Lethal Company, you may find this game I'm talking about next kind of similar to that. Okay, I want to discuss Sketchy's contract. There's a lot that came out and everything. The developer has done a lot of changes to the game, but recently added a Halloween event just in time for our spooky season. So let's show some of the highlights that we got going on. Whoop, whoop, spooky season. So there's going to be a new map, which is awesome. And it has components that will scare you. And then there's also a new horror experience in addition to the new map. So yesterday, the developer went live on Twitch to discuss the 0.0.7.0 update. And so here's some of the news that I have from that actual patch notes. So players can now customize their suits. There's a new haunted house where there are 3 hidden Halloween exclusive plush and a new planet called Darkwood. It's a dark ruined village of witchcraft and dark magic. And for all you fans of ghost hunting, you'll get to use an EMF and find the hidden ghost plush.
Hell
Now,
yeah.
these items are only going to be available during the Halloween event. So I'm hoping that maybe a couple friends of mine can play the game this month before it's over so we can get our Halloween plushes.
We'll see.
Grim, Dan, Morgan.
We'll see. We'll see.
But I'm really excited because it is the Dan and I have played the game and everything, and they did do a lot of revamping for it that we haven't dived into. So they did make a lot of big changes to the way the maps look, the way that you get things in the like items and everything. So like the store that they have. So there's a lot of like big changes they made to the game that we just haven't had a chance to dive into. So I'm hoping that maybe this week we'll get to do that.
So Ramp does
aren't
ask
playing
in chat, is it going to be free? So the game, Sketchy's contract itself is $8.99 on Steam, but I believe that the event is free. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. The Halloween event is free. Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, free events. Let's go.
We like free.
My favorite price.
That's right.
All right, everybody. We're going to take one last quick break because I need to go to the bathroom. And then we're going to dive into our Destiny deep dive on the new dungeon that was released. And we're gonna be joined by a wonderful special guest who has been waiting all show to join us. They can't wait. It looks like they're being very cutesy over there, but but for
You
now,
won't want to miss it.
yeah, you don't want to miss it. It's gonna be a great time. Kitty's gonna be asking us a bunch of questions. But for now, we'll be right back. Give us just a couple minutes. We greatly appreciate you. That's right. Destiny Spotlight.
That's right. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to dive into a new fun segment, Video Game Spotlight. All right, on Tuesday, Destiny released its latest dungeon, Vesper's Host. I guess I said that right. Did I say that right? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, I did. Okay, which seems to be the hardest Destiny dungeon yet. I know nothing about Destiny anymore. Sorry, guys. For the first time ever, Bungie put a world's first race for a new Destiny 2 dungeon, which is typically something they only do with their raids. Raids, not their rads.
Not with the rats.
This is not Fallout. Sorry. All right, the first five. I'm doing great, guys. I'm doing great.
Woo!
All right, the first fire team to clear this new dungeon, Team Indebted, did so in a time of 4 hours and 23 minutes, according to the official Twitch Rivals watch along stream. And now, with that being said, our own Destiny expert, Grimnir Allfather, and one of Morgan's fire team members, is joining us to talk all things Destiny.
Or Rob.
Or
We can
Rob.
call him Rob.
That's
Yeah,
you
we
know.
can call him Rob. I got all excited. I wanted to be really dramatic, but I guess we could just call him Rob.
That's
I
me.
just want to mention he might be called Rob because I break between both. I'm awkwardly switch between Rob and Grim all the time. It's great.
You never. Also, the The dungeon came out on Friday, not Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
It's fine.
Well, Morgan should have caught that.
Just my little, Destiny expert nitpicking.
All right. Well, Rob, thank
The
you for
season came out on
joining us.
Tuesday.
As always, we're really excited for you to be on our show. So let's dive into this. We're going to do a little roundtable discussion where I ask you guys the questions, and I'm super excited because I know nothing.
Yeah. So for chat, just in case anybody doesn't know, Rob and I, with Shirtless Dan, as Kitty just mentioned, kind of like took our dive at it, and we did start originally in the competitive mode.
Contest mode.
That too. Close.
I was going to mention that. Duh. All right. So you guys did start on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you guys going live. I was like, man, I woke up from a nap on Friday, looked at my clock, and went, oh, they started early. Wonder what's going on. I knew it was a Destiny day. I did know that, but I didn't realize how early of a Destiny day it was. So, how did it go? Did you guys actually finish?
So not
We
yet.
had stopped early because Dan had to actually have a bedtime this time on Friday. So
Yeah.
we got to the final boss.
Damn it, Dan.
So what we're
There's another
doing is
contest
we're just
mode.
gonna throw Dan under the bus today. I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
He's not here
Screw
to
that
defend
guy.
himself.
No.
He's going around the bus.
That's fair. Okay, so you guys didn't finish. You got to the final boss, and then that was it. Okay, so
Luckily, we
you're saying
do
this was
have
really
though,
difficult. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Luckily, we do have until we have Sunday and Monday to complete the dungeon because it does save your progress, which is really nice. So as long as we do it before reset on Tuesday, we will be able to finish it. Thank goodness.
Well, that's good. At least it's a nice thing, a nice little added feature
Yes.
that they're just like
It's
here.
so nice that they do that.
Could you imagine? And restart. Fuck.
I mean,
all right. So
at least we know what we
so
were
they're
doing
saying-
at that point.
So they're saying that this one's really difficult compared to, I guess, other dungeons that they've had. So, what is the difficulty level of this dungeon compared to the past Destiny dungeons that you guys have completed? I know you guys have done pretty much all of them for the most part. I'm assuming, safe to assume, kind of thing. So, on a
I've missed a
scale, where
few.
would you say this one actually ranks?
I mean, the contest mode was a bitch. Let's be honest.
Contest mode was awful.
The dungeon itself is like, it's not that bad, really.
Mhm.
It's just you have to really, not just have the communication, but mostly have the mechanics down.
Yeah,
So that it's
I
all
think
working
that's
like
really
a well-oiled
important.
machine.
Because like there is a lot of puzzles and things, and obviously we're trying to go in blind. We don't want we want to take our try of figuring it out on our own. But like I think the biggest thing is like when you're diving into dungeons like this is, especially if you're not racing to be world first, take your time with it, pace yourself, breathe. It's okay. Like, you know, so it is definitely a pretty difficult one. I think after switching from contest mode though to the normal mode because we weren't getting anywhere, and with like the time restraint we had for Dan having to get off, we wanted to progress further than what we had. So mainly for sanity reasons we switched for a while, like, okay, let's at least figure out, how this is going to work. And I don't think after switching it was nearly as difficult. What made it so difficult was the fact that we were in contest mode, because things were like the limited reses were wild. There were some areas that I felt like we should have been able to have more, but we didn't. There was some timing stuff on the one thing in contest mode. Is that the second or third map that we get into, Rob?
Was a second encounter.
Okay, the second
Yeah.
big encounter, there's like a whole timing mechanic that I don't even know how you're supposed to make work. Like that was wild because we were moving at really good paces for that and still were getting destroyed by the clock. So I think so that you don't have that though in the standard non-contest mode. So out of contest modes, I think this is definitely one of the more difficult ones compared to the others.
If you were to rank it out of 10, what would you rank it? Ramp is giving it an 8.5. Do you agree or disagree?
I think it depends. Like contest mode, I'd say ramp's probably spot on.
I mean, are we ranking difficulty wise, or are we ranking like the dungeon itself? Because like for me, it
Difficulty of the
varies from one
whole
dungeon to the
dungeon.
next.
I know you guys didn't complete
Um,
it, but everything up until what you've done so far.
Honestly, once you understand the whole mechanics of like the augments, it's fairly simple. Like
Yeah.
difficulty wise, I'd give it like maybe a 6.
I was thinking
Okay.
that too, Rob. Like a 6 to a 7-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 because of what we learned about the final boss area and it not being obvious. But whatever, it's fine.
Which I did send a video by Esoteric, which was soloing the dungeon
yeah.
because that's what he does. But on the final boss, I sent a video to the group chat with Dan. So something that we have to look out and like study a bit the mechanics, especially during like the DPS phase, because there's a specific spot that gets you like relatively safe. Because if you're not in that one spot, you know those like lightning surges that we got during the parkour before getting to the boss.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the boss does that to you
Oh, love that.
over the area of DPS. Yeah.
Yeah, so that
So there's one spot where that doesn't happen.
this final boss definitely um the what sadly where we had to end. There is a lot to this area. It's not just like a single room. You have like 3 different rooms you have to run around to. There's the room you're in for like these mini bosses that they have, or these puppeteers, which is what it is called in the dungeon. Like there's a specific room you got to even be in to
The
kill them.
puppets.
Oh yeah, sorry, the puppets. He's the puppeteer. You got to be in a specific room to kill the puppets and like to final like because then there's going to be this crazy like area like fire purge surge kind of thing that like instant kills you. So you have to make sure you're in the right room to protect yourself from it, and that's really hard to find out because you think you're in the right room and you're not. So you just gotta basically take your time to figure that out.
So we were in the right room. I think we just didn't kill the right puppet. That was the
Okay.
one thing that told us. Because we need to still have the scanner to find out, because like the bigger one that we killed, there's actually 4 of them. And the scanner tells you which one of the 4 you have to kill to get the nuke to then go into the safe zone and be clear.
Gotcha. Okay.
So let's bring this back a little bit.
Sure.
I know you guys are talking all strategy right now, and I'm like,
Yes.
cool. People,
What does this
people
mean?
like me are like, I don't know anything. What's going on? Let's talk strategy
Words,
right now.
proper names.
Let's
Place
just pop
name.
it. You speak up. Okay, let's go back a little bit though. You guys are talking contested versus normal. What's the difference for somebody who might not have played Destiny or even done any of the dungeons before?
Well, contest mode, you have limited tokens to res, so everyone has 1 token that you can use to res another team member. Once that's used, it doesn't refresh until you
doesn't.
get clear of that encounter and get to the next one.
Right.
Actually, I don't even know if it refreshes then. I think you have to wipe to get your tokens back.
No, I think it refreshes because the
No?
first one it refreshed. After the first room, it refreshed.
Right.
Are the
Yeah, so you have to
rewards
clear the
different?
encounter to get. So the contest mode, which was only 48 hours to get it, I think is done now, or is going to be done soon. It guarantees the exotic
Okay.
weapon, which is Icebreaker, which is coming back from Destiny 1.
Which
Gotcha.
is quite a beloved weapon for OG Destiny fans.
Mhm.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Now,
I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking
No, you're
about, but
good,
we're
you're
gonna
good.
bring you guys back a little bit.
After the 48 hours though, it is still you're still able to get the Icebreaker exotic, but the likelihood is like your drop rate is really really low, so you got to grind the dungeon a lot in the hope, or get really fucking lucky with the RNG to get your actual drop for Icebreaker. So like that's why like we were trying to do it in those first 48 hours on contest mode so we could guarantee that we were getting that exotic. Sadly, that probably won't be the case. It just means we're gonna get to know that dungeon really, really well.
Replaying the dungeon and doing triumphs ups your chance of actually dropping the weapon,
Yes.
though.
Yeah.
All right, so
Specific
now
triumphs only, though.
let's dive into the actual mechanics of this dungeon. So, what were you guys dealing with? And Morgan, I don't remember if you told me you do have footage of you guys playing
I
it or
do
not.
not for today, so I'm so
How
sorry.
dare!
I know.
But
I
hey,
I
if Dan's
overcommitted
available in a
myself.
few hours, you can come watch the three of us try and finish the boss.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but let's actually start at the beginning of what you guys saw in this dungeon, what the mechanics were. We'll tag you later, okay, Rob? Jeez.
Hey, Morgan shameless plug. I'm gonna shameless plug. But it's basically bringing back, because it's happening on a Brightex station, so it's bringing back mechanics from Deepstone Crypt, the raid that came out like 4 years ago, I think it was. So there's the augment, so you have to kill specific enemies to drop an augment you pick up, and then you have scanner, operator, and suppressor. So the scanner allows you to like go around the map, and there's specific things you have to get close to see if those have to be shot or not, and you have to call them out.
Mm-hmm.
The operator is the only one that can shoot those things, and if they shoot the wrong one, they get insta-killed.
Mm.
And then the suppressor is used more at the final boss phase. Well, the first big boss and then the final boss, because suppressor allows you to suppress abilities that the boss has. So it allows you to go into damage and shit like that.
Okay. Now, when you guys are running this thing, have you guys ever gone online and been like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to see what others have done?
Yes and no.
We started in blind, and then we ended up like we didn't really look at guides. Dan had watched the race on Twitch Rivals
Mm-hmm.
up until the final boss, but he didn't watch actually the final boss fight.
Question,
So every
did
now
he
and
take
when
notes?
he actually remembered things and paid attention.
What?
I know. When he's not playing with us, he pays attention. It's crazy. Um, but yeah, like whenever we would get stuck and like not know what to do, we would be like, "Are we at least on the right fucking track here, Dan?" And he would tell us like whether we were right or if like we were close to what we had to do and stuff like that.
Okay. So you guys do have like at least a little bit of, maybe one person does a little bit of homework kind of
Mhm.
situation if we're lucky, but for the most part majority of the team tries to stay blind so that it's still something that you guys can try to figure out on your
Right.
own, which I mean that's not too bad.
At
At
least
least
for
you
this
guys have,
one.
Yeah. There's also a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of
Okay.
lore. There's a lot of lore that happens in the dungeons, and Dan and I, or sorry, Rob and I specifically, being big Destiny fans, we love the lore. We're here for Destiny's story, and as I said like last week, Destiny is a story first game, and
Mhm.
so that's why we also like to go in blind. We don't want any spoilers for the lore. We want to have our authentic reaction, especially because we're streaming it. We want to give our audience our authentic reactions, but um yeah, so that's another part of it, is like we want to try to figure it out, but if we're struggling, we've wiped a lot and we're like, what the hell, what's going on, what are the
Mhm.
fuck are we doing wrong, we're gonna go and take a look after a while.
Yeah. No, that's completely
Mhm.
understandable. I'm the same way with Diablo, in the sense of the expansion for the new story. They're very story heavy and everything, so I have not dived into any of it or watched really like any of it, so I can actually have my own personal reaction to it.
Yeah.
All right, so do you guys have any, so let's say I'm like, hey, I really want to play and I really want to dive into this dungeon with you guys. What words of wisdom would you give me?
Pace yourself.
Pace myself. Oh, I thought you said hate myself. I'm like, well, I could do that too.
No,
Hate
pay
yourself.
like
All
I think the
right.
biggest and most important things for like major like dungeons or major like harder missions in Destiny is take your time. Don't go in guns blazing. Like it's okay to take the slightly slower approach at times, for your own sanity.
The first advice for this dungeon would be pull out your credit card because it's money gated.
That
Really?
is true.
Yeah, you have to get the dungeon key to be able to play it.
Oh,
Which is kind of
interesting.
dumb because one of the objectives you have to do to rank up your Guardian rank, which is the thing that they came out with this year, I think, like with this expansion, Or was it? I think it was already a thing before. But yeah, one of the things you have to do to rank up to 7 is you have to get kills with the icebreaker. So not only do you have to have the dungeon key to play the dungeon, you have to finish the dungeon and be lucky enough to get the fucking gun so that you can actually rank up your character, which I think is honestly at level 7, which is a pretty low level, it's kind of a scummy move. But
Yeah,
that's most
agreed.
likely from Pete Parsons, because he wants to buy new cars. Dickhead.
Gotta love the CEO.
This is a we hate Bungie execs household.
That's fair. That is fair. All right. So we have now understood the whole dungeon and everything. So let's talk about the lore. Okay. Tell me a little bit about what's going on with the lore of this. Um, is there any fun story stuff that you're learning from the dungeon?
Fun. More like
Fun.
fucking
Also, also,
terrifying.
also, before you tell me everything that's going on with this lore, at the very end, I want to know how traumatized are we going to feel?
Yes. Let me double check the names real quick.
No problem. Our expert is fact checking himself.
Yes.
Please
Because
tweet.
the boss that we're fighting is Atrax, which was the first and so far only Elixni Exo that we fought on the Deepstone Crypt and beat and killed. So somehow, we don't really know how, I'm gonna pull a fucking Star Wars. Somehow Atrax came back. We don't really know. But in the lore of the armor pieces, we do learn the names and like a bit of what happened with two Elixni that basically led a bunch of other Elixni to the station because they wanted to basically make a place for themselves where they wouldn't be ruled by captains or kells or anything like that. And they could actually have their own ether production, which is what they feed on and what makes them bigger and stronger. One of them, I don't remember the name, and I'm trying to pull it up, but I have fucking ads everywhere. So, but one of them that you follow the most was a drag that's been feeding on ether and has been starting to regain her second pair of arms. And the other one that you follow is actually a drag that was born with not only 4 eyes but 8 eyes, which is considered very lucky among the Elixni. And like people actually listen to the drag more than the other one who was basically growing into Vandal stage. Um, but yeah, we learned that when they get to the station and start setting things up, there are things moving in the pipes. And then more and more, you start learning that a bunch of the crew are going missing. Which is like the station was already derelict and abandoned at that point, but a few members of the Elixni crew are going missing, and more, until it's down to just those two characters. And so the one that's been regaining her arms um, has encounters with something in the tunnels or in the hallways that has 4 eyes like an Elixni, but they don't blink like they
Hmm.
should, which basically is Atrax, the Exo that's that's haunting the halls basically, and with whatever fucking power that they got, have been corrupting the other Elixnis and making them join whatever is going on. And so it's there's down to those two Elixni, and so the first one that we keep following like finds that shit and starts running away, like escaping from the crew members that have been corrupted, basically not trying to grab her, but just telling her like, "Come with us, join us," stuff like that. And then she goes back to her friend, the one with 8 eyes, and she finds him, And they talk for a second, and then he basically hands her over to the pale captain Atrax, because he's been corrupted too.
Wow.
So she gets betrayed by what she thought was the last actual Elixir and her friend, and fed to that basically fucking monster at this point. And that's when we learn that it's basically been linking all the minds of the Elixir into a hive mind. So they're like one entity with many limbs. And they have been creating this massive fucking portal looking structure that we see through the dungeon. And the reason that Atrax has been doing that is because something made them do it. Something that is beyond that portal. And we don't know what it is, but something that can control what was basically a dead exofallen, and then give them the ability to create a hive mind of brain dead Elixir is fucking terrifying, because it can do that without even being here.
Right.
Like, the only thing that we could have thought would have been able to do that shit would have been the witness, but we killed that fucker. So it's something else that's potentially witness level bad. That's terrifying.
Not good, not good.
Yeah.
So, how much is this lore that you guys are learning right
Hold on,
now?
my headset died.
Uh-oh.
How dare.
Okay, what did you say?
How much of this lore that you guys are learning right now?
No, it's not working at all. God damn it, I have to restart.
Oh, I will eventually ask my question.
I talked too much, and then you were both quiet, so my headset was like, no sound is coming through. Sleep mode.
It's Reika. Reika's messing
There we
it
go.
up again.
Okay, now I can hear you again.
All right. So this lore that you guys are learning, how much do you feel is actually pulling at your heartstrings, is emotionally getting you like invested into what is going on?
I mean, the whole
You
thing
both.
of
I
the
mean,
two Elixir, like, the last one standing being betrayed by what's basically been her best friend the whole time. Like, that's rough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then there's like the terror of like whatever this fucking eldritch entity is from deep space or wherever the fuck it is. That's like Lovecraft horror type of shit. And like, cosmic horror always has like a fond place in my heart. So this
Mhm.
is
Me too.
exciting but terrifying.
I'm right there with you. Like I am terrified to see what's going to happen, but seeing that we have this boss back, we have like, and that raises questions to the community. Why is that? And from what we just got in the most recent season related to Vex and a character called Maya Sundarash, like, are there any links? Is that a possibility of why he is back? Because she is dealing with like Exo and Vex kind of things. So I'm curious to see what links there are, especially since I haven't finished the dungeon. I don't know yet. But I'm just curious to see, like, okay, we have this story thread. Now we have this new story thread. Do they link, or are they just running parallel with one another?
I
what are you guys
think it's
hoping?
more tied in with the current episode with Revenant.
And that's totally fair. That's totally fair.
Mhm.
It's just one of those things, like, I don't think that this Maya Sundarash bit is completely finished and closed yet.
Definitely not.
So there, that could end up also being bleeding over into Revenant.
What are you guys
And
hoping?
it is all
to-
from the echoes, so
Mhm.
makes sense. It's what are we hoping?
Sorry, I'm like, okay, never mind. What are you guys hoping that they?
Actually,
One more thing. Where are you guys hoping that this goes? Like, what are you hoping for that Bungie will do with this now added lore? I know that they're releasing, I guess, like every so often new stuff, right? Is that how they're doing it? It's not like what it used to be, from what I've gathered from you guys talking to me
right.
offline and everything. So,
Like, we used to be like basically used to every week we get a bit more story content from the season, and we have to wait for the next week. Which for the first episode that we got was pretty disappointing because we would get like maybe an hour of content and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to wait for another fucking week. So they're doing it different in this case because like each episode is going to be in 3 acts.
Raven got
as
the
Raven has
zoomies
the
over there.
Yep. So each episode is in 3 acts, and what they did this time is they released the entire first act, which they didn't really do it in the best way because they gave us like half an hour to 45 minutes of content, and then dead air, nothing, not telling us that because we have to like craft potions and shit that give us like bonuses and everything, this bonus loot and stuff. They didn't tell us that we have to continue making those potions to keep progressing with the stuff for Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, here's the story, and that's it.
Yeah.
We get no
Yeah.
no guiding of like
And
keep making potions
Destiny
at all.
is known to hold your hand and give you like the steps so you know how to do it. And I wonder if this is related to how they're trying to do like a non-linear like story element coming with the new expansion. But there's non-linear storytelling, and then there's not letting us know what our fucking options are for this story.
Yeah, like this is not Dark Souls. We're not supposed to like piece together what to do
Right.
by like inspecting weapons and armor. Like you've been giving us story things and like guiding us with like, you know, next week you'll have more stuff to do. They're just like, all right, we gave you the story content. Now do your thing. It's like, huh?
Right.
But like the whole non-linear thing that they're gonna work for with like Codename Frontiers, whatever they're gonna end up calling it, I think is like it's more gonna be you've come to this area, now you can do this, this, and this.
Right.
Like actually
Mm-hmm.
giving you options and guiding you to those options. Because they were saying you can go to zone D or zone A or zone C or zone B, whatever order you want, but at least there's some kind of like guiding thread to take you there. I'm guessing that's how they're gonna do it. Other than just like, all right, you got a cutscene, now here's a new area that you have to explore.
Go amongst
It's
yourself.
like,
Have fun.
sure, that can be interesting, but like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a new area. What the fuck am I supposed to do here? Do I just walk around and then miss half the story because I have nothing to actually tell me, like, this thing right here is actually important? It's kind of like, I don't know. But like for this, I definitely feel like they should have given us like at least a little bit more, like even just like a one-liner of, or even just like a continual quest that just stays of like keep helping Ido like research more potions until the rest of the story continues in like 41 days, which is going to be less time now as Raven keeps running around. But basically right now all we have to do is grind resources, make more potions to unlock more potions, and then on Act 2's release then we actually get something to do, which will actually have something to do on Tuesday because it's the new event that's coming out, the Festival of the Lost, so the Halloween event.
I think
But
Raven is just doing the non-linear part of the game right now.
oh, it's very linear, just going from the window to the bathroom and back. It's very linear.
It's okay. My Owen is hiding.
Where's your Owen?
There might be a bag that seems haunted, but there's just an Owen in it.
It's just Raven just woof.
Very linear.
Let's see. Can you see him?
What you doing, buddy?
Say hi, everyone.
He's like, I live here now. This is my new home.
Yeah. My friend had borrowed that, and they were over here last night for dinner, and just tossed it there. Didn't know that. And yeah, my cat has claimed it as their little hut. He has a cute little hut bed. Wants nothing to do
Not
with
in
it
there.
after a month. It used to live right like in the like I put all the pillows around it. It lived there for he used it for a month and then never touched it again. No, he'll
He's like,
rather
I like the bag.
he just wants to use this fucking bag.
I like
Little
the
cat
bag.
behavior.
All right. Well,
All right, I do have one more question for you. It is a super tricky one. Not really. But once you guys finish, do you feel like friendships are ending after this one? I know that there has been a lot of fun drama on the fire team.
No, we're just gonna clockwork orange Dan into actually paying attention to the mechanics and the story.
or just
Is
that
he-
Just hop into
someone
a chair, keep his eyes wide open, and put some drops every now and then. And he's gonna pay attention to the fucking story.
no
So
friendships
he's
are
allowed to
not
stay on,
ending.
is what you're saying.
Yeah. No, there's just brother. Just listen.
There's what?
Just
There's
listen.
what?
Just listen, brother. Just listen. No,
Help
it
me
was,
help you. Help me help you. Help
Yeah.
me help you.
I think the worst part of the fire team was that second when we were on contest mode and on that second map, and there was just a lot of unnecessary death amongst all of us. You know, that was the hardest bit. It's like we can't keep dying. We've wiped so many times. But that's also contest mode for you. You know,
Yeah,
the time
yeah.
limit is also an absolute killer on that second map.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. But no, friendships are alive and healthy.
All right, great.
For now.
For now. But I will say though, if you want to rewatch the replay of them wiping and drama and all the other fun stuff related to their fire team, where can they tune in, Rob?
My channel.
Or mine.
He was like,
You know.
he was like, what do I say? That was so great. Set you up and you almost failed.
Yeah, come watch our channels. So there's mine that's good in all photo. Like you can see, like it's like here. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
the delay.
Nope, you're good. You're good. You're right there.
Right there.
Yeah.
My
You
channel
can-
here. There's Morgan
Wrong
Please.
side.
there, up there.
Yep. Yeah, so you can watch mine over on the True Tash. You can see my POV, and then Dan, who's not on with us today, but you can also watch his side of things over at Shirtless Dan.
And you guys will be starting roughly sometime today. So make sure you follow them.
Hopefully today, if not tomorrow.
All right, we're going to cross our fingers. But they will be starting either today or tomorrow. But make sure you follow them so that you guys know when they go live, because I don't know when they're going to do it.
We don't know either.
Same.
Dan, where the fuck are you?
It's pending Dan returning from a bachelor weekend with his friend. So
Yes. Does anybody in chat have any questions for Grim about the Destiny dungeon or Destiny in general that you would like to ask before we say goodbye to him?
Hi, bitch.
Forever.
Not forever. I have one question. Do you hope that they add any new classes to the game down the road, or do you like the fact that it is just the 3 of them that you can do?
I'm hoping to get more races.
Or race, well,
Instead of just like human exo awoken,
Okay,
I'm
yep.
hoping we can get maybe Hive,
Maybe
because they are light bearers.
that's true.
I'm hoping that Elixni get also light bearer, because we have the house light, but they haven't gotten any
They don't
light
have
bearer
ghosts.
abilities yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Cabal, because we're allied as well.
Mhm.
You know.
Vex, Vex would be interesting, but I don't know if that'll work yet.
Yeah, I don't know how Vex would work, because
Like story wise, that doesn't make sense yet.
yeah, they're not a hive mind, but they're also kind of a hive mind. So it's,
Who knows? Maybe
but
we'll
you could play one Vex.
pending.
You could play one Vex, as in, you know, that one microscopic nanomachine in the Vex milk inside the Vex frames. You get to play one Vex. It has light bearer abilities, but yeah.
So the other one that could be that I don't think would be introduced because of the story that we're getting with Revenant, but there is the potentiality for Scorn. Um, I don't think that's a good choice. It doesn't make sense for them to be
No.
a player race. But no, I think honestly, like I would love to be able to play as like an Elixni or a Hive. I think that'd be really cool.
Because
What
we
would you
have
guys?
Hive that are splitting away from Savathun now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Luzaku that entered the Traveler with Savathun actually split away from Savathun's Hive to serve the Traveler and protect the Traveler. So it would make sense, story-wise and thematically, that maybe we could have Lightbearer Hive
Interesting.
characters. Hi, Dan,
Look,
we're still working.
tell him no. He's interrupting our show. No, you're not.
Sorry.
Anyway,
How dare? We're in the middle of a show.
I know. I'm so sorry.
He could
Shame.
He
have
had,
texted.
had to update me on
Jeez.
something important.
He could have waited.
text,
We're almost done. He could have waited.
It was a
text,
matter of
Dan,
it was a
text.
matter of immediately having to leave the house. So
I do have one more question before we wrap this up.
Okay, you said
What
that
would you
before,
guys
so that's two
say?
questions now.
How's
you
that
made
two
another
questions?
one come in our head. Come on.
You said that you had one more question before, and now you said that you have one more. That's two questions that you have.
Yeah, well, you know what? Nobody else in chat is asking questions, so I'm going to ask the questions. So you're welcome. Um,
I'll be $50.
so what would you guys say if they did a not like a full story, like a full expansion or anything, but what if it was like a seasonal type thing where you guys got to kind of see the other side, the dark side of like the enemies that you're attacking and did like a whole entire like event season just on that?
It could be interesting, but I'm not sure. Like, because the thing is, they're kind of wrapping up all of that. Because they kind of wrapped up the Vex. They're leaving it open ended, with like the Vex are now changing because Maya has the echo of control. So they kind of wrapped up that with leaving open ended, where the Vex are actually evolving and changing. They're splitting away even further because they already have different branches or factions within the Vex, and this one entire branch is splitting away from the rest as well. So that might be something that could be interesting to see. Now we have the Scorn, where I'm hoping they're not gonna do the same shit with Fikrul. They're gonna let us fucking kill him and take the fucking Echo, instead of like being like, oh, we beat him and now he's leaving with the Echo as well. Oh no. It's supposed to be wrapping up the fucking story and not like wrapping it up with leaving it open ended in a way that makes sense rather than just, yeah, we fucked up Maya and now she just gets to float away into the Vex net and that's it. Like, I'm hoping we get to actually kick Fikrul's ass, get the Echo, and then we go on to like beat up what's her face? Zivu Arath
Mhm.
and like kill another Hive God, which I don't know what she would be considered as anymore because she's been split away from her throne world, so she's not even ascendant anymore. Another Hive, just a very powerful one. But I'm curious to see how that's going to play out because there were 3 Echoes, and I'm hoping she doesn't get one. She might, but I'm hoping she doesn't. So it could be interesting to see like what she's been doing this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the big bad that was orchestrating everything is dead. So it's kind of like there's not much going on the enemy front of things. So maybe like, you know, a new type of enemies comes out with Frontiers, or like there's definitely gonna be a new big bad and everything, but because the Witness was the first knife, the fact that he was the first kind of implies that there's more.
Mhm.
So And we know that the witness was not the winnower, which is the embodiment of the darkness, and the traveler is the embodiment of the light. God, like there was suspicions that the witness was the winnower, but now we know that's not a fact. That was just a servant of the winnower. So I doubt
And
that we'll ever face the winnower, because it's kind of like a cosmic force on the scale of the traveler.
yeah, I don't think it will. I don't, because like there's been the constant like discussion of like with light there is darkness, and I think like if we were to end the widower, we would have, it would be the end of destiny.
It's like the force, you have to have balance.
100%.
Right.
Absolutely.
If there's light, there has to be darkness.
Yep.
Makes sense. All right. Anybody else have any other things they want to say before we wrap up today?
I'm good.
I'm gonna guess that's a no. And then I started talking, and Rob's like, "But wait, I have one more
Well,
thing."
actually, well, I had one more question.
Look, at least I asked questions, okay? Come on now. All right. Well, thank you, Rob, for joining us. We really appreciate it. Diving all into that Destiny lore, Destiny dungeon, Destiny mechanics. And be sure to tune in and watch Morgan and Grim and Shirtless Dan as they try to battle through the remaining part of the latest dungeon. Fingers crossed that you guys do it and you guys don't murder each other. That's all I got to say about that. And we just
Yeah,
want
I'll
to
be
let you guys
fine.
know that I'm
No
just saying.
promises.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Fingers crossed that you guys don't murder each other because I would like to have friendships later that I can play with. Um, just need some
No
friends to play
promises.
later as I chill on Diablo by myself because I'm cool. By the way, tomorrow is Steam Next Fest is going to be getting underway and it's going to run through October 21st. We're going to be taking a closer look at what games are being offered during this fun fest, and we might even just like dive into some that we find interesting and give you guys a little review on them because we can do that. It's a great way to support indie developers, so definitely check it out. Like I said, it starts tomorrow. That's where I've gotten a lot of my games. I'm sure Morgan has gotten a lot of her games, and Rob has seen a lot of his games come from. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. He likes his AAA sometimes. And as always, we will
Especially on
have all
sale.
the topics we discussed in our show topics section on our Discord. So if you're not part of it, you need to be,
May I
or you
interrupt?
can't join us.
Also to add, like, if you have any like
No.
really funny, like any like game fails that you have done, like you yourself, if you're a fellow streamer and you have them recorded and you have the clips, please give us also those links in our Discord. There is a section for it because we will be adding a fun new segment to our show for game fails.
Also, please don't just keep constantly putting mine in there. I know I have a lot.
So
Latin.
Twitch, French kitty, clips.
Seriously, that's a Latin bit. I was like, what? No, but what is he yours? I can put
Yeah,
as many
that's
as I
not
want.
yours, Latin. Like that was the assignment, then you're there. Like that, you didn't just miss the assignment.
You
You
missed it
ignored.
by this much.
You miss the assignment as much as Dan misses the context in games.
Oh, he's not even here to defend himself. Once again, Bus Dan. All right, before we go though, don't forget to check us out across all of our social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And of course, show us some love. If you like the content that you're seeing right now, hit that heart button on Twitch. It is free. And if you can always catch the re-air of our show on YouTube. So head on over there, hit that subscribe button, and you can watch us live or anything else that we put up because we put up all of our videos. And until next time, keep processing, everyone.
Bye.